elemental skill, which is the thing that you shoot on the ground and then you get energy and that small amount of grouping. In fact, since this happens every 3 seconds and you don't have to charge up a shot, which is very annoying and it wastes DPS, you are getting passive Anemo energy for your Farazan, but also your Anemo DPS like Xiao or Scarra, while also, if that wasn't enough, grouping enemies way better than before. Again, you don't have to charge shot to group these enemies, and the grouping won't undo itself by the time you swap out and get ready to DPS, because you're already on your DPS character, since you just needed to use your burst and not your skill. And so, just through this one constellation that has 3 parts that are all amazing, I can't stress enough how she literally transforms into a different character that just becomes much better, especially when you add this up other constellations like your second one, which makes your burst have effectively 100% uptime in most teams. That gives you 6 more seconds on your burst duration, which I believe has a 12-second duration, 20-second cooldown, so only 2 seconds of downtime, which is really, really good. But also the bonuses you gain have an additional duration, so yeah, it's 100% uptime from this ability once you have your second constellation. And so yeah, C2 is good, and C2 can be okay stopping point, I guess. But if you only have C2, you still need an ungodly amount of energy recharge, you can't group characters efficiently, and you just lose out on a lot that C6 does have to offer. And so C2 is honestly pretty decent, but obviously C6 is on another level. Now another issue with this as well is that she's a rate-up 4-star that just came out and who's rate-up on Scar's banner and probably won't be featured on another banner for a while, which means not many people will have her 6th constellation, so it's hard to evaluate like her place in the meta or even Scar Mooch's place in the meta, because it really does depend on if you have Farazan C0 or C6. Now I do want to apologize if this section seemed rambly. I'm just like actually kind of passionate about this because it's really annoying that a lot of her potential is blocked behind C6, or at least a lot of the quality of life. Like again, I want to keep repeating this so people aren't mischaracterizing what I'm saying. I still think she's okay at C0. Like genuinely, part of what's annoying is that yeah, she's also pretty good at C0. It's just you need like almost 300 or sometimes even more than 300 energy recharge, and I'm not exaggerating. Or a team of 3 or 4 Nemo characters with a ton of bonus points, and you need to charge shot on her and make sure everything works out perfectly just to get a decent amount of value. So I still use her at C0, and yeah, I still recommend her as a decent but replaceable option for a C0 longer, or potentially even Xiao, but her battery skills are lacking. Whereas at C6, she turns into an amazing, like honestly I'd argue broken character for those specific teams that really want grouping, energy, and Anemo damage bonus, and
Anemo.
Which Anemo carries want. Because of that, I both
Anemo.
this character. I want
Vine
to
Boon
explore
sound
that sort of
effect.
dilemma where I really like her and I like her idea and I want to use her with Wander and Xiao, and I will continue to do so. But I just think what they did with her C6 is tragic, and I see a lot of people clickbaiting Farazan being broken, and I'm not blaming anyone in particular. I don't care. Like people can do whatever they want.
Because Geo and the Nemo don't have any female DPS characters. Farazan and Goro are not characters I'm unwilling to use. Farazan is at least a girl, but there's no Anemo DPS. Which, well, actually, Noelle and Ningguang, I guess, are a thing.
No touching!
No! No! But doing so well, being so sneaky.
You also have C2, which makes a fully constellated Farazan that much better than the C0 Farazan with just your base kit. Alright, now moving on, let's actually talk about how to build your Farazan. While I was debating making this into a separate video, I think it's good for me to include all of my thoughts on this character, as well as my thoughts on the best way to build her, how to get the most value out of your kit, into one complete video. Because of that, let's start by talking about the artifacts you want. Well, I normally talk about artifact stats first, I'm going to start by talking about stats, because since, as we saw earlier in the video, Farazan, especially at C0, needs so much energy recharge, you want to make sure that you have enough energy recharge on the set that you're running on her, as if not, you won't get much value, and there's no point in running a good set anyways if you just can't use your burst and can't get enough from the character. Because of that, starting with stats, here's what you want to know. At C0, I highly recommend going for energy recharge for every single piece. This means going energy recharge as a main stat on the stats, and then as a sub-stat on every single other piece that you can. The only exception here is for your circlet. If you can go for a win rate, it is usually going to be favored as on Farazan. There's a high chance that you're going to be
I can't fly.
which I'll talk about in the next section when we cover weapons, which they both use a direct look at energy when you can drift. So having crit rate of your substats in your circlet is also going to be relevant. Generally speaking, while crit rate is nice, your main focus is energy recharge, so you definitely want that percent on any substat that you can get it on. Now, as I mentioned earlier, at C0 you want around 250 to 300, sometimes even more energy recharge, depending on many factors like how often you're using your skill, if you have 2 or 3 Nemo characters in your team, and if your other support characters are running Favonius weapons. Sometimes you can get away with less energy recharge, I know, sometimes you might need more, but generally just go as much as you can, as honestly, if you have to go for over 250 to 300 anyways, the little bit of damage that you'll be investing in like attack or crit at C0 usually isn't worth it, because it is a pretty marginal DPS increase anyways. This changes at C6, but before we get into that, when I say energy recharge in every piece, I really do mean
The air is just right.
It's going to be optimal, and so I recommend going ER stats, then you go with an crit break circuit with ER substats. If you don't have an Eagle Gun with energy recharge, then yeah, you can go attack percent, or you can do what I do, just filter my energy recharge and then pick literally the highest one, which for me has this onset one, which is higher damage, and just go with that. Now honestly, to like test their damage and stuff, I've used uneven damage on this, but I genuinely recommend going for a gauntlet that has energy recharge, even if the main stat is irrelevant to you, because at C0, you're using her to buff your damage, not to deal damage. With that said, her burst scaling is decent, so if you are C6, you can start to focus on her damage more, and go for more offensive stats, like obviously still a Nemo damage gauntlet, a crit circlet, and then looking for crit rate, crit damage, and attack percent on all of your pieces. Your stats will probably still be energy recharge, but if you have enough, you can also go for attack percent, as that will be relevant and better than elemental mastery, as you're mainly focused on your burst, big scaling, and the bonus damage from your elemental skill. If you're wondering the energy recharge you need at C6, the exact number still varies. It does seem to be around 100%, depending on your team and your locations. Because you still already still have energy recharge, but while that's at C6, it becomes a lot more manageable. Now, moving on in terms of the artifact sets you want to use, you're going to put the cards on. If you're running elemental damage to your team, outfield supports like Fischl, Sigil, Rosari, and characters like that can deal a lot of good damage even without being the main DPS, then you want to go for the 4-piece for Deathbetter, as it will really increase your team's damage. With that said, some Wander or Chow teams may not run an elemental support, they may run something like Zhongli or Bennett or more passive buffing supports, or you may not need the Deathbetter set. If you don't need it, or if you have it on another character, other good sets like if you're not running the last another support, like potentially Bennett or another healer you may be running. Also, another set we're mentioning is the Tenacity Vanilla set, but only if you're C6, as the 4-piece set effect will proc near proc field of your skill hits an opponent, which at C0 won't do that much, but at C6, since your burst procs the effect of your skill every 3 seconds, you will constantly be buffing the attack percent on your party members by 20%, making it a really good set when you're fully constellated.
Ad Astra Abyssosque.
Fully
Thank you for
constellated.
More energy recharge though, these sets like Emblem, either 2 or 4-piece.
Ad Astra
Once
Abyssosque.
again, either 2-piece with Emblem or even 4-piece despite being a 4-star artifact set, which gives you less stats, can both be relevant to increasing your energy recharge if you don't have enough. When your main concern with Farazan is buffing your party members, which is why I typically recommend a more supportive artifact set, if you do need energy recharge from the 2-piece set and also want to buff your Farazan's personal damage, then going for Emblem is not a bad idea. It's something that you can also do, but it's generally just not my favorite. However, since you need so much energy recharge, I would recommend picking your set based on your stats, making sure you can actually use her efficiently before you commit to a set. Generally speaking though, I do recommend Deathbetter, as it allows you to run elemental supports on your team without having to put Deathbetter on another character like your DPS. Last thing I want to mention that for Emblem and also mix and matching 2 sets like Deathbetter with an attack set become even more relevant at C6 if you can manage your energy and want to focus on your Farazan's personal damage, although once again, I do recommend support sets, generally speaking. Next up, for the weapon 2-1 on Farazan, it is very straightforward. She's a character who wants energy recharge primarily, so going for an energy recharge weapon is going to be ideal. Now, while base attack does matter for your passive talent, this is only a small buff in the grand scheme of things, as you also have other buffs on your burst, to where I wouldn't pick a weapon solely based on your base attack, like I would with someone like Bennett, or sometimes even Sara. For Farazan specifically, I still, especially at C0, highly recommend going for an energy recharge weapon like the Favonius Warbow or the Elegy for the End, which are my 2 favorites. Elegy, when it's level 90, does have a higher base attack than Favonius by quite a lot, and gives you a lot of energy recharge, so it is quite nice. It also will increase your elemental mastery, and the elemental mastery and attack percent of the active character when you proc its effect, so it can be the highest for your team DPS, but it does give you a lot of nice energy to your Farazan than the Favonius Warbow. Because of that, at C0, I still recommend Favonius over Elegy, generally speaking, because it just gives you so much energy on its effect, giving you those white particles when you burst, or even just doing normal attack without having the charge shot, then I highly recommend it on Farazan. It is my favorite weapon by far, but if you already have enough, then other weapons like Elegy for the End can be good and potentially better. Lastly, other ER weapons I want to mention are End of the Line, Sacrificial Bow, and technically Fading Twilight, which are all viable options, but again, Favonius Warbow or Elegy for the End are my 2 favorites. Moving on, if you have a C6 Farazan, while energy recharge bows are still very good, if you have an energy recharge stance, then you can also stats to have a round to energy recharge or to get your back on cooldown, you can go for a more offensive bow. Yeah, C6 stack any crit stat, like the Skyward Heart, or any of the other 5-star crit bows, or even something like a higher refinement stringless, which despite its low base stat, which sucks, doesn't give you long.
You are not welcome.
Propagate! Germinate! This is long overdue. Born of ice and frost. Hi. Yeah. Hi. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Incinerate!
Even at C0, genuinely, but it does get better at C2 with more uptime, or C6 if it comes
Wow.
way better. It can be used in pretty much any of the teams that I mentioned in my last guide, where I go into more detail on Wander's teams if you want more information. With that said, I do personally like triple Anemo to help Farazan get energy at C0, and then double Anemo at C6, but obviously both work in different situations, and there's so many different teams here. Now, for Shao, if your Farazan is not C6, you have to run triple Anemo or some other sources of energy generation, at least for your Shao, personally, unless you run like a Fat Lance, because he really does need a lot of energy. If you don't have an Anemo battery like Subros, or even someone like Venti, Farazan does not generate that much energy compared to some other Anemo characters like Sutros with Reverse Constellation, or even with the Sacrificial Fragments, where I would not recommend running Farazan Shao without another Anemo character, at least at C0 for my testing. Yeah, it's still early, maybe this may change, but for now, it looks like if you're C6, this team works really well with Farazan Shao.
You are not
Scatter!
welcome here.
Access denied. Let's damn ink! Born of ice and frost. Propagate!
Let's end this now.
Motion to compel. Path of the flame. Ready, steady, go! I can fix this. Glaze over. No touching. Ha! Springboard! Let the show begin. Oh.
Is that all you've got?
Go, Barbara, go! Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
This type of video in particular, what do you guys think about the character with and without constellations? With that said, I hope this guy was helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
So it's been a minute since I've talked about the whole Wizards of the Coast and the OGL situation and the backlash that I've received from the WWE brand and the tabletop community. A lot has happened since my last video titled Wizards of the Coast Apologize for OGL Disaster.
You are not
Protect
welcome
us.
here.
Born of ice and frost. Scatter! Ha! Oof! Chia! Ha! No touching! Ha! I'm getting sick of this. Let the show begin.
Patience.
Germinate! Incinerate!
Failed.
Royalty as well as registration requirements that would allow them to surveil and just make it more convenient for third-party publishers and creatives to make custom content for D&D. Wizards of the Coast also put in a clause that allows them to modify or terminate the licensing agreement at any time as long as there's a 30 days notice. They also essentially put in a clause that allowed them to use any content created by third parties under the new OGL, essentially steal content, use it however they want with no consequences without having to compensate the original creators. It was just the worst kind of language we want from a quote-unquote open game license. So backlash was swift and severe. Third-party publishers spoke out. A bunch of employees started leaking information because they deemed this whole situation to be so wrong and so detrimental to the D&D community. And eventually a number of prominent content creators got wind of this whole story, so a bunch of them spoke out. And eventually, there was a campaign that got started that encouraged people to unsubscribe from D&D Beyond, and Wizards lost tens of thousands of subscribers, reportedly roughly 30,000 subscribers from this campaign. So that's hundreds of thousands of dollars a month that they lost. Now, Wizards of the Coast did respond by backpedaling on certain aspects and certain restrictions, but the way they gaslighted the community and the way they kept presenting the new OGL as a draft as if they didn't plan to stick it by the community.
Why do I have an attack percent on?
The way they continue to try to save face through subtle lies and manipulations, that all didn't sit well with the community at all. It was already very distrusting of Wizards of the Coast, so employees leaked even more information about how the immediate financial consequences of so many people unsubscribing from D&D Beyond and calling for the boycott of the new D&D movie and stuff like that. All that led to them backpedaling. They didn't grow a bigger heart out of the executives. That is, employees leaked information about behind-the-scenes sweetheart deals with certain specific third-party publishers who have to pay lower royalties than the rest of the community. You're going to get screwed over. We kept it in the dark until the new OGL launched, and we made a de facto new rule for licensing. There were leaks about Wizards of the Coast plans to raise prices for subscriptions like $30 a month compared to the single-digit subscription prices that they have currently. And a lot of the blame was put on the executives rather than the designers and the creative heads. Specifically, VP Chris Kao, he's reportedly the mastermind behind this whole OGL debacle that completely backfired on him thanks to investigative journalism that led to this information getting exposed before Wizards of the Coast and VP Chris Kao could realize their nefarious plans. Eventually, Wizards of the Coast was forced to apologize through Kyle Brink, executive producer on D&D, who wrote the letter, but he's only been executive producer of D&D for 3 months after replacing Ray Winninger, an executive producer who was heralded and was beloved within Wizards of the Coast before he left. Kyle is just kind of new to all of this. He's not really the mastermind behind all of this, but he kind of was made to be the face of all of this. He was treated as a scapegoat, essentially. Now, he did say, we're sorry, we got it wrong, but he continued to insist that the OGL that they were exposed on was a draft, which is just not true. We have reports cite that the so-called draft was actually just the final version of the licensing document that was supposed to be snubbed by the community. But on a positive note, Wizards of the Coast insisted that they are going to release an actual draft OGL to the public so they can get feedback from surveys, realizing that the backlash was too much for them to just weather out. And that finally brings us to all the new information that we want to share today, starting with this series of tweets from D&D Beyond from back in June 2023 that aim to dispel what they claim to be misinformation that's been popping up, saying that this $30 subscription rumor or report that's been floating around, all that's false. That's what they claim. They also insist that no one
This absolutely needs to be damaged.
answers, and then they addressed accusations that employees at Wizards don't even look at survey feedback. That's something that YouTuber D&D Shorts reported, but Ray Winninger is the beloved former executive producer.
Dang it. Fuck off, Honkai.
Hey everyone! I know you guys want to see Super Mario Sunshine. I just went and pressed a lot of active replay code from leave the controller to Joe. Yeah. And, well, we're going to here's what those are in like 6 minutes. This also isn't the first time we've done this. Yeah. Second?
Great.
Yeah, second. But also second time today. Yeah. Because I think I turned on one committee and it crashed our entire computer. Yeah. But it works now. Peach is here.
We'll just go have elemental mastery, full elemental mastery on the Haydargor for now.
Can we talk about a little unwanted visitor? So, last recording session, Joe and I troubleshooted for an hour trying to figure out what the internet was working in our room. Fast forward, we found out a fucking mouse came into our room and chewed up our Ethernet cable straight down the middle. So yeah, no shit working internet. Yep. Joe and I get ready to record today, and then, surprise, the little bastard did it again. Yeah.
I'll level up artifacts later, some other time.
I was gonna play Valorant
much faster.
Yeah, just realize if we are uploading daily, and that's our whole thing, something's going to happen. He's going to reveal himself.
The mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I mean, if he doesn't, though, then I'm kind of cool with that.
No, he's gonna. I don't know. Like, I don't want him to, but that master's gonna make an appearance.
Yeah.
And it's on site if he does.
Absolutely on site. I don't think I'll kill the guy if we catch him. I'll just let him go.
I just want to know why. I guess. I think if I were to meet him, that's the question I would ask.
I just want to know why now, because the thing is, we
But
had this whole,
who's using
outside,
Favonius?
like you go
Stuff.
outside a little bit, and for some reason, like ever since we've been here for like 2 years now, we've never had this issue.
Years we've never had a little mouse. And he's going crazy.
Yeah,
I hope he chews through the cable and shows.
I don't think that they can as a thing.
Oh, is that?
I don't think he's eating it. I think he's just chewing it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I think he's like a cat. It's like,
I want to help.
Just like, good hell of it. I need to really be careful to not hit the wrong button here.
We're so crazy about Sunshine. It's like it's such a great series.
Yeah, I really don't think Elemental Mastery
That's only true for people that are actually like.
is good to put on Dendro characters.
Let me ask you this.
At least
alright?
not too much of it.
If you just finished if you just lost a run,
Because they're not the ones triggering the bloom most of the time.
the next 7 minutes, and if you just
That's bad.
You just finished a juicy run.
Ah,
What's the last thing you're gonna do? I'm not gonna play the game again. I've never PB'd in a game and it said let's do another run.
Yeah, you usually.
I PB, I'm like, alright, we'll try again tomorrow.
You want me to turn one foot off? I'm gonna get this shine sprite and then I will.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we don't have to go through all this again.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I think you can get one.
Oh, I think I get it, but
Yeah, I'm not doing anything else in Gadget.
we are spinning. Oh, we're just constantly spinning. Gotcha.
Oh, you're spinning?
I'm gonna do one more run.
Problem solved this time.
I just wanna.
Which we really appreciate. Okay, yeah.
I think you also have infinite hover if you want to toy with that.
Right now, I'm just going up here, riding on this. Probably not now. No. Where are you? I'm flying off. Okay, thank God. Yeah, I thought we were gonna like land in the water and somehow die there. Okay. Oh, this is so good. I'll try. I think all of them are just spin jumps now, though. Yeah, don't worry. I know exactly what you want. Thank you. I know the random shit. And look at that. If you look closely, you can tell Mario's looking the wrong way in the camera. That's just
Dang
a
it.
running trick.
How do you feel?
We can change the one where I can't see Mario at all. Yeah, that's all you want to
Say,
change.
I can back it out real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. We just saved and we'll be put into this cutscene if you exit the game. Whenever we come back. That's not a big deal. If anything, it's preferable because then we can hold tab through the button right through the cutscene. Which is super awesome. I'm like Burger King in jail. I love that image of Burger King in jail, bro. Like, I swear I see it all the
absorption test. Yeah. Propagate. Scatter. Stand clear. Absorption test. Propagate.
Loves milking nostalgia, but in all the wrong ways.
How so?
Like, we don't need another Kanto remake, but hear me out. Imagine in Scarlet Violet if you got to go to Kanto and just reverse it.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, it's exactly what they did with Johto. Like, imagine in the Gen 4 remakes, you know, they're like, fuck it, you can go to Gen 5 now, you know, just do some shit. Like,
Yeah.
You know, people love the Mushroom Kingdom in Odyssey.
But did they actually do that in Gen 4?
No.
Okay.
They did that in Gen 2, you know, you can go back to
Yeah.
Kanto, but it really sucks, honestly.
Yeah. It's like after Apocalypse, right? Isn't there like just really no one there? It's just
Kind of, yeah. It's just really, it's just weird. It's weird, honestly.
full confession time. My favorite Pokemon game is Soul Silver.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever beat it. I just like it.
I think
I played it a shit ton. I took my time with the game.
Nuzlockers hate Johto, but I think Gen 2 has a lot going for it casually.
Wait, Nuzlockers hate Johto. Is Johto that's 3, right?
There's Gen 2. Soul Silver.
Oh shit. Okay. Wait, what's this? Sinnoh? What's Gen 3? Oh, okay.
All hail!
I'm not super confident Pokemon.
Let's end this now!
Don't break my glass! Stand clear! Absorption test! Hi! Propagate!
Test of my patience.
Access denied!
Again.
Okay, so if I had to take a guess, don't think it worked.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's just say, let's fucking say.
Actually, can just I'm just be careful. I'm gonna grab your giant sprite real quick.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Okay, never mind. You can pop it. I guess I didn't read the menu. Oh wait, oh my god, the camera just moved there. Oh, okay. I always thought that was its own little screen. Also, I don't know if we're recording. Colin, put something funny right here for the person
I'm
leaving
done.
this still. Yeah, Colin. Wait.